Hey everybody, Traders Designs here. Welcome to yet another Photoshop tutorial, and today we'll be learning how you can create some abstract geometry or abstract geometric shapes inside of Photoshop. So without any delay, let's get right on to it. We'll create a new document. We'll be having it at 1920 by 1080 and we'll be clicking OK. Now we want to create a background first. So what we want to do is take up the gradient tool, and I'll be having a blue to dark black or a dark gray color. The blue would be 007F84 and the dark gray would be 232323. Just click on OK. And I have a really nice application that I'd be using here, which is guide, which you don't really need to use, but I just like using it because it makes putting up guides a bit easier. So here we have this one, this button and this button. So if I click on this button to create a guide in the middle of the document, and if I click this button, I'll be creating a guide horizontally in the middle of the document. There are other ways to do it. For example, you can bring up the rulers and drop these guides onto here, or you could even go to window. You want to go to view, new guide, and you could just place those guides right here. So let's get back to our gradient tool, and we'll just drag out a really smooth gradient starting from the center to the top right edge. And what I think at the moment is that let's not create a blue gradient. Instead, let's have it at green. We'll go to the adjustment layers and add a hue and saturation layer. Once that's added, we'll just change the hue to somewhat a green tone. I guess I like this one, like to -99, and we can just close that properties bar right there. And I'll just unlock this layer so that we don't have any locked layers, because I don't like them. And we'll just select both of these layers by holding shift and clicking on those layers and pressing Ctrl E to merge them. And we'll name this by double clicking on its name. We'll name this as background. Now what we want to do is we want to start creating our geometry. So for that you want to pick up the pen tool from the toolbar and make sure that you have the mode at shape and not at path. And I'll be having the fill at, let's see, I'll be using a green color, and the base color it would be a medium kind of green. For in this case, I'd be using it as 5D 92 and 00. We'll just click OK. We won't be creating this on the background. Instead, we'll be using a new layer. So once the new layer has been added, you want to start creating a triangle. So let me just click here, click on this point, and again click on the starting point. And when I see a little circle on the bottom right of my cursor, I'll just click on it, which means that it would be closing the path. So once that's done, we want to create yet another layer, and you want to make it a clipping mask of the layer that we created earlier, which is a shape 1 layer. To do this, what you can do is hold Alt and go into the middle of these two layers, and once this square type of icon appears, just want to click there, and now this layer is a clipping mask of shape 1. Clipping masks actually mean that the content that we'll be creating would only be applied to this triangle or the shape that we are using, and would not be visible on the rest of the document. But for now, I guess I will just make the shape a bit more dark at 55, 85 and 00. Once that's done, what we want to do is take up the pen tool again and go back to layer 1, and we want to have a bit of brighter color, or let's go to a bit of darker color instead, and choose and the color that I'll be choosing now is 45, 60, 6D and 00, and click OK. Also, you want to enable an option which is the zoom with the help of scroll wheel. To enable that, you want to press Ctrl K on your keyboard, which will bring up the preferences, and you want to check mark zoom with scroll wheel option right here, so that you can zoom with the help of your scroll wheel, which really helps in the in the designing process. So I'll just zoom into it, and for the moment what I do is I'll insert a layer above the background layer, so that at least we can see what we are doing on this, because it's kind of merging into the background. So what we want to do is add a new layer above the background and press G on our keyboard to make the default colors on our palette to black and white, and press Alt backspace to fill this layer with black color. So now going back to layer 2, layer 1, we would click on the top of this triangle, go in somewhat the middle of the triangle where we want the vertices to meet. For example, I'd be clicking here and going to the other edge of the triangle, and I'd be clicking here so that this part just closes down. And by the way, for example, if you click elsewhere, for example here, you don't need to just undo. What you can do, instead of pressing Ctrl 0 going back to the history panel, what you can do is hold Ctrl while the pen tool is selected, and it would bring you up to the past transformation tool. And while holding Ctrl, you can just move this anchor point anywhere you want onto your shape, and just place that on the perfect place where you want it to be. Now what you want to do is that you just want to close this path. Yeah, you can do this anyway, it doesn't need to be perfect, and just go right on to this circle. For example, you can just create a path outside so that you don't leave any crevices. Once that's closed, you want to create yet another layer above this layer and make it a clipping mask of shape 2 or shape layer 1, the other shape that you just created, the one which we were working on. Now as we have a shadow area, we have a base area. Now we want to add a highlight, so we would again go to the fill, and this time choose a brighter color, and again create a highlight right here. So let's see. Alright, it doesn't matter if anything overlaps, it would just hide itself with the help of clipping masks. Let's just create it right here. I'll just move this a bit downward like so, and we can just close this path right here. And I guess this is a bit too bright for my liking, so I will just lower the brightness a bit. Alright, that looks okay. Or let's see if we can just lower this a bit more. Well, I like that a lot, so I'll just go back to my move tool and zoom out of here. Now you can just delete that layer 2 that you just created earlier. Now you have a basic geometry ready. So you can just select all these layers by clicking on shape 1 and holding shift and clicking on shape 3 and pressing Ctrl E to merge these layers, and pressing Ctrl G to group these layers. You don't want to merge them right now. Once you've merged these grouped these layers, you want to merge them by pressing Ctrl E and having the group selected. Now what you want to do is now we have a solid shape right here. You want to create some copies, and you don't need to go through the whole process again. Instead, you can hold Alt on your keyboard and just drag out another copy of this layer. And what you can do is just press Ctrl T and transform it. You can just flip it horizontally. You can just transform it so that it isn't that much recognizable. Let's see, I'll just scale it down like so, and I'll place it here. And I guess I'd be making the background a bit different because it is not letting me do all this stuff right now, so I just make it blue for the moment, and we can change that afterwards. I'll just rotate this like so, go to group 1, again make a copy of this layer and So, flip it horizontally. I'll just hold shift and resize it so that it is constrained to the proportions that we maintained earlier, and I'll just move it like this, press flip horizontal and click on flip vertical and just place it here like so. Let's see, I guess it's okay, and we can move this with the arrow keys without any problems. We can just again make a copy of this layer, size it down, and that's what the whole process actually is. You just want to keep creating copies until you create something interesting. So let's see, I'll just move this right here, and you know what, this technique is only mastered by experimenting and seeing what you like. Everybody likes something different, and it's just that you want to play with your imagination and try to come up with something creative. It's not necessary that you use these colors, that the ones that I used. It's not necessary that that you only create the shapes that I use. You can even make polygons such as quadrilaterals or pentagons, etc. But triangles have a look of their own. So let's see, where was my original image? Here it is. So I'll just size this down again and just place it like so. Okay, let's just zoom in. I'll just align it right here and just rotate it a little bit. Right, or I will just place it here. Now once you have a couple of triangles ready, you can just group all of these and press Ctrl G, and then press Ctrl J to duplicate this group. I'll just move the group we created earlier to the top, to a bit top right, and take the second group and transform it like so, and kind of place it right here, so that we have an abstract shape which looks really cool. So we can just group this again and place it in the center. It doesn't need to be exact center. It can be somewhere it could be somewhere where you like it to be. Now what you want to do is you want to create yet another copy of this group that we just created by pressing Ctrl J. You want to size this up, and it doesn't matter if it just pixelates or just covers up the screen. And once you've done that, you want to move it to the side and add a bit of depth of field to your image. You want to make it look like as if this the portion that we just created is towards you and is not in the focus of the camera. So what you want to do, once you've done this and placed it here, you want to go to your filter menu. First of all, you want to just merge this layer by pressing Ctrl E, and then you want to go to the filter menu. You want to go to blur and select Gaussian blur, and you can just select the blur amount where you can at least see the shape and also make out that it is a bit blurred. So I'd be having it at 8.2, and one thing that you could do is go to image adjustments, brightness and contrast, and even lower down the brightness a bit so that the focus is mainly upon your main subject. Now after that, what I like to do is just add a vignette, but before that we'll just change the saturation. But I guess we don't need to change saturation at all. It looks really nice on the blue background, doesn't it? So I'll let it remain at the blue background, and we'll proceed to creating a vignette. We'll click on the new layer icon right here, and name this vignette. I guess I spelled it wrong. Alright, now you want to bring up the rulers that we created earlier by pressing Ctrl semicolon, and you want or you can just create those again if you want by pressing Ctrl R and dragging those into the document. Now you want to go to your marquee tool and right click on it, or click and hold on it and select the elliptical marquee tool, and start from the center while holding Alt and create a kind of frame around your image, and press Ctrl Shift I. and press Alt backspace to fill this area in with black, and press Ctrl D. Now you want to go back to your move tool and go to the filter menu, go to blur and select a Gaussian blur, and increase the blur amount so that we don't see any hard edges. Even if you see them, what you can do is just transform this up, for example pressing Ctrl T, holding Alt and Shift, and transforming it so that we get a little subtler vignette. We'll just transform it a bit more. Alright, press Ctrl 0 to zoom into the document, and press Ctrl semicolon to hide these guides. And you can just click on double click on the F key of your keyboard and press Ctrl 0 to see that see the glory of your creation in full screen. So guys, that's what we'll be creating today, what we have created today. And be sure to keep an eye out for the 200 subscribers pack, which I'll be releasing soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe day after tomorrow, depends upon when I release that and when I record that. So be sure to tune in, subscribe to my channel for all the updates on my channel and other fun stuff that I'll be releasing in the near future. By the way guys, please like this video, it really helps, and be sure